Hello, readers. Welcome back to the Litduterous Horror. I'm your host, Stacey Wright. Now, you might be wondering what's been going on with the timing of the show. So, I recorded last Friday's episode late on a Saturday, and then I didn't actually put anything out on Tuesday. Now, I don't normally talk about myself because, I'm kind of a private person in some ways, but I have rheumatoid arthritis, and I was just recently diagnosed with endomyosis. I think I said that right, where it basically means I'm having problems with my uterus. So I had really bad pain, and trying to sit down to record my episode, I was more stressed than any person really needed to be when this is supposed to be fun. So I took the day off, and I made sure that my episode was well written, that all the points were there. And yeah, I'm really sorry that I didn't put anything out, but I was in a lot of pain, and anybody that has any kind of problems with the uterus will understand that the level of pain I was in was too much. Because I have RA, I don't take medications. So yeah, it was a bad day. And woo, it's summer holidays now. My kids finished school yesterday, so yay for Friday. But today, we're going to just talk about the book that I read for the week for the Read Like Rory challenge that I have been doing. And I did the book, All the President's Men. Believe it or not, it's actually a major motion picture as well, which I was really surprised about. I actually had no idea, because this is a nonfiction book. I actually didn't know it was a movie. And yeah, we watched it on the weekend, and wow. I gotta say that this is one of those times where the movie was so much better than the book. So I read the book, and the book is about the Watergate scandal. Now, maybe you don't know what that is. I did, because I am a conspiracy theorist, and I quite enjoy things like this. So just to give you a little bit of an overview of what the Watergate scandal was, it was President Nixon. He basically, in a nutshell, it was a really big scandal. So what happened was the re-elected president got some of his people to break into the Democrat Party headquarters at the Watergate Hotel in Washington, D.C. And now these people got caught going through files and planting listening devices, okay? So 5 days later, Nixon denied having any knowledge that this stuff happened. What happened was these burglars went on trial, and I think that was around 1973, if I remember rightly. You have to understand, this was a decade before I was born, so I'm not completely certain on all the information, but they neither pled guilty, and they weren't convicted either. So what happened was, before sentencing, this person, McCord, elected the judge, contending that the high Republican and White House officials knew about the break-in and had paid the defendants to keep quiet. This was big news back then, okay? This happening back in the 70s was big bloody news. So they did an investigation. It went all the way to the special Senate committee. Now, some guy called John Dean, he is a White House lawyer, told the committee that this was true, okay? And that Nixon was known for trying to cover this up, making sure that the White House stayed out of this. So eventually all this stuff started to surface, including evidence that key documents linking Nixon to the cover-up had been destroyed, that they were running dirty pool during the election, wiretapping their enemies, and oh my God, it was absolutely mental. Now, in today's political climate, are you really a politician if you haven't spied on the competition, done sneaky, underhanded stuff? Seriously. Right now, this wouldn't surprise anybody. If you found out that a politician spying on his competition, you'd be like, sounds about right. But back then, back in the 70s, this was big bloody news, because this stuff didn't happen, or if it did, they didn't find out about it. So the fact that this stuff all came to light was really big news back then. Now, Nixon tried to deny any involvement, okay? So at first he refused to turn over anything, but in the end he had to, because what he had left that wasn't destroyed had to be put forward because he was right under the gun. And in the end, Nixon ends up actually being impeached. And him resigning, I think he's the only US president still to this day to have ever resigned from the post. Now, the tapes clearly show Nixon had been part of the cover-up. So in August of 1974, he submitted a one-sentence letter of resignation and then went on television and said, "I've always tried to do the best job for the nation." He was the first and only president so far to have ever quit from the job. Like I said, this was huge and it rocked the nation. So after all this stuff with Vietnam, the economic troubles, assassinations, and all the unrest over the last 15 years, like this was just the nail in the coffin for the US government. This book really should have tickled my fancy like no other, because I love stuff like this. Love it, love it, love it. But why would Rory be interested in a book like this? Like, ask yourself why Rory Gilmore read this book. And it's actually very obvious with this book. Like, the two people that wrote the book, as it's nonfiction, were actually investigative reporters. Okay, so we got this story about how these two reporters started out doing what they were doing, how they overlapped in what they were looking at, how they ended up having to collaborate, they were stepping on each other's toes and whatnot. And obviously that's what Rory wanted to be. She wanted to be a journalist. This is what she wanted to do for a living. So you can see why she picked this book and why she would have enjoyed it. Now, both journalists, from my understanding, this book, this piece, like all the investigative stuff they did, won a Pulitzer Prize for journalism. So that's something to aspire to. So you can see where Rory may well have been very intrigued with this book. Not necessarily the subject matter, but definitely the people writing it. Rory, wanting to be a journalist, probably would have looked up to these two. And this would have been where she was learning the tricks of the trade, like how to do things. So yeah, this one was really obvious as to why Rory would have really enjoyed this book. Like, I'm sure they were probably her idols. Now, they don't talk about that in the show, but I'd be really surprised if these two guys who uncovered this huge plot somehow managed to bring it all to life and get the story out there after all the cover-up, that she probably idolized these two men. Okay? Now, you would think because I am a big conspiracy theorist, one of the biggest, that I would have loved this book, especially as it wasn't something I knew a great deal about. Like, I knew what the Watergate scandal was. I had some information. I didn't much care for, like, it seemed really trivial because obviously I like alien stuff, and you know, the JFK assassination, that's all fascinating. Now a president who's caught spying, whatever, that's really kind of boring. Okay, but I really want to give this book a shot because I'm like, well, these two uncovered the whole thing. They dug out some stuff, so this is going to be really interesting. Yeah, no, for me, it really wasn't interesting at all. Now, it was drier than sandpaper. Like, I'm not even joking, okay? I could have swallowed a glass of sand and it would have been less dry than this book. I felt like I was reading I don't know if you've ever had to give a witness statement to the police or ever read witness statements, but it's like, blah, 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 this happened, this happened, this happened, what did she say? Oh, she said this. The whole book felt like that. It wasn't engaging. There was no tone to the book other than, I did this, she said that, there was that, oh my God, there's this evidence, and oh my God, and then we did this, and this person was scared. And it just felt really boring. Now, I did finish the book because I'm like, there must be something here, okay? This book is drier than a popcorn fart, but there must be something here. It won an award, for God's sake. But yeah, like, I don't know, like, maybe it's just because the subject matter. Like, this book was written a very long time ago. The book that I grabbed from the library was it was redone, so it had like Trump stuff at the beginning, like they were trying to match up Nixon to Trump, like, I don't know. So I know it was revamped. So the book's 50 years old, and honestly, with the way politics is today, if you're not being an underhanded, sneaky little shit, are you really a politician? So this is not, maybe 50 years ago, this was so entertaining. It must have been out of this world. Whoa, what the hell did I just read? But for me, I'm like, nah, they all do that now. So it really wasn't that exciting. And you know what? That's okay. But even the writing wasn't great. And I'm like, these guys won an award for this. And I'm like, I don't get it. I really don't get it. I really don't understand. What did I miss? And I thought maybe I had missed something, but nah, I really didn't. And I looked at the Goodreads reviews and I'm like, wow, a lot of people really love this. I'm like, I wish I understood that, but I don't. Now, they also introduced, I don't know if you've ever watched X-Files, and they talk about Deep Throat. And he's like this, like, I don't know, he's giving Mulder all the information, right? And you're like, ooh, like he's in the know and whatnot. Well, this had a real life Deep Throat in there, okay? Because that's what they were calling him. And I'm like, he was boring. Boring. Like, X-Files made it way more exciting than this book did. I don't even know. Now, if, like, Richard Dixon's downfall from grace is something you're excited about, maybe this book really would do it for you. I don't know. Like, I think I would have had more fun at the dentist. I don't know. But then I'm not Rory, so I don't really understand a fascination with this kind of book. But I don't know. It didn't feel like much of a scandal now either, like 50 years on. And yeah, who's not spying on each other? Alexa spies on you. This is not news, right? So I don't know. It's just, I guess, maybe 50 years on, this book's like past its time now. I don't know, but I just like, whatever. And I did finish it. And my next book on my Rory list, like I got my Rory list right here, okay? And I just started the next one, which is The American Tragedy by Theodore Dreiser. And I'm like, oh, you better not be as boring as this one. I'm gonna really regret starting to do this series. I'm like, oh my god, like seriously. But you know what the other problem is? I had a really great reading week with the books that I had been reading. Yeah, I don't know if you know the Tudors series, but there is an author and she writes this most amazing series. And she does one for each of like Henry VIII's wives, so all 6 wives. And she just wrote a book called The Cardinal, which was about Thomas Wolsey and his rise to greatness and his fall from greatness, right? So I finished that book and I'm like, whoa, like my whole body was thrumming with amazingness because this chick nailed it. I love the Tudor period. I spent 2 years doing an A-level on history just for the Tudor period. So this book really did like excite me a lot. So I'm wondering if maybe it was just the quality of the books that I had read, that this book just didn't meet the same. You know what I mean? Well, I don't know. It's a really hard one, right? And I just finished a thriller book, and like the name's eluding me right now, but that book was phenomenal. And I don't know. I guess for me, if I've read some really good books and then a book comes in and it's not as great, I think it's a hard sell. But, you know, who knows? But I do have the next few episodes planned, and right now I am completely ready to record them. I have a episode coming up about how toxic our book social medias have gotten. It's gotten to the point where I am not enjoying being on social media. People are quite hateful. So that's an episode coming up. I also have another one coming up about bookish terms. Like somebody messaged me and they're like, I don't know what this means. I don't know what this means. And I'm like, I can help you with that. So we're going to do an episode with that. And then obviously my next Read Like Rory bag. I'm so glad that you guys are still tuning in and watching me. I'm hoping that the next few episodes are just going to go as planned, that we're not going to have any more stoppages. It's really hard when you have a autoimmune disease to be able to record when you want to. And I have kids, so sometimes they get in the way as well. But it really was just, I was having a really hard day on Tuesday and I really couldn't. So I will record it. I promise. I'm going to get you all the content. And if you really enjoyed this episode, please follow me on YouTube at youtube.com/@Litduterous. If you would like a copy of this, don't forget you can email me, and that's litduterous@gmail.com. If you are interested in following me on TikTok, same thing at Litduterous. I have a Instagram page at Litduterous Whore. I also have my book selling Instagram, which is Booklarian Designs. Same thing on Facebook. You can find me on Spotify. I'm trying to centralize all my podcasting, and I'm trying to find other places to post. But if you're following me on Spotify, please follow me. And if you do follow me and you make a comment, I'm going to just start sending bookmarks out to all you wonderful people that support me. Just make sure that you're prepared to give me your address. Thanks for watching. I really hope that you have the reading day you deserve, and I will be back on Tuesday. Not that I'm going to promise that, because apparently I'm not very good at keeping my promises. But have a wonderful weekend, guys. Take care, and I will see you on Tuesday. This is Stacey Wright signing off from the Litduterous Whore.